Now we're going to have an intervention from a very special guest, and we're very happy and I'm honored to introduce you to Professor Maria de Graça Carvalho. Professor Carvalho is currently a member of the European Parliament. She's actively engaged in ITRE, IMCO, FEM and AIDA committees, where she's also co-chairing the Parliamentary Intergroup on long-term sustainable investments and competitive European industry. Professor Carvalho was a senior advisor to Commissioner for Research, Science and Innovation, Carlos Moedas, from November 2014 to December 2015. And before that, she was in the Parliament again, and in that capacity was one of the rapporteur for Horizon 2020. So she knows the ecosystem extremely well. From 2006 to 2009, she was also the principal advisor to President Barroso in the field of science, higher education, innovation, research policy, energy, environment, and climate change. Professor Carvalho also served as a Minister of Science and Higher Education of the 15th Constitutional Government of Portugal and Minister of Science, Innovation and Higher Education of the 16th Constitutional Government, and is a full professor at the Instituto Superior Técnico from the University of Lisbon. Professor Carvalho, thank you so much for joining us this morning. I know you have a very, very busy schedule, so we're really honored and happy to greet you, and the floor is yours.
Good morning. Thank you very much. I hope that you are hearing me well.
Perfectly well.
Okay, thank you very much. First, I would like to thank the kind invitation to be here today with you. I just say that I'm very happy because I have followed the Innovative Medicines Initiative since 2008, because when it was launched, I was principal advisor, as it was said, of President Barroso, exactly for the research and innovation. And I follow quite close at the time the launch, what we called at the time innovation package of the first set of public-private partnerships. And I follow all the details through his cabinet, the cabinet of Barroso. And I remember that I was with him in the ceremony of launching these first public and private partnerships. Again, when the second edition of the Innovative Medicines Initiative took place in 2012, I was a rapporteur of Horizon 2020, so I followed it very close, and we dealt with the public-private partnerships in a package, and I was one of the rapporteurs of the other. It is a public-to-public at the time partnership that was the EDCTP, quite close content in certain way. They are both health partnerships in the field of health. So I was following also very closely all the negotiations of the second, the Innovative Medicines Initiative, I would say part 2. And I hope to follow now in the next spring, once again, the successor of the IMI initiative. I will follow it closely in any conditions, in spite of the role that I will have. I promise you that I will follow the details of the negotiation to make sure that everything goes smooth, and that we from the European Parliament, as always, in our amendments, we will contribute for the smooth, flexible, and even more success of the third phase of this initiative. So, as you say, I've been following you very closely, so I'm very happy to be here today. And also because today is an important day. Is an important day because we are very close to an agreement of the European budget. The negotiations, the final, that we hope that is the last meeting of the negotiations of the budget for the next 7 years. Have started yesterday. They have interrupted in the night, and they will restart. Our negotiators from the Parliament with the Council and the Commission, they will restart now during the afternoon, and we hope that is the last part of the last meeting of the negotiations. We heard quite good news, so we hope that in the middle of the afternoon or at latest the evening, we will be able to celebrate the fact that we managed to have a better and a more ambitious budget for Horizon Europe compared with the one that the Council has proposed in July, in their meeting of July. So the message that we are getting from there point out in the good sense. So we are optimistic, and let's hope, let's keep our fingers crossed so that the results are the ones that we all are pushing for. We have in the Parliament being at the forefront of this fight to have a better budget for research and innovation. Not only for research and innovation, we have set our priorities, what we call the flagship projects. They are all on subjects that are facing the future, that deal with the subjects that represents the future of Europe, like the research and innovation, but also the education, culture, the digitalization. And we want that these have a more ambitious budget, and we didn't give in to the pressure that that the Council and all the member states have put on the negotiations in order to close as fast as possible, because for the Council the main priority has been the recovery plan. We understand that there are a big crisis in a lot of member states, and some of the governments are very pressed to finalize the negotiations, and the main objective of the negotiations for them was to take the biggest envelope back home, and their priorities were not at this stage the research and innovation. But it's a pity, because we also argue that to finance research and innovation, to finance education, is probably the best way to do a sustainable recovery, a long-term recovery, a recovery that is not only short-term, but stays for the future. And special that we are putting so much emphasis on health. And as we can see, and we had very good news for the first published results of a vaccine yesterday, is the solution for crises like the present one will come from research and innovation. So it's time to put more budget on research and innovation, and not the contrary. But unfortunately, we didn't have any member states supporting the position, not even the ones that received more budget from Horizon 2020, like Netherlands, Denmark, Sweden, Finland. They didn't support us, the Parliament, but the Parliament kept united, and this is very important, that all the European groups, all the parties got united in this position. So we will end up with a better solution, probably not as much as we would like from the beginning in the European Parliament, but a better solution that was initially in July on that came out of the Council meeting in July. So that is as the budget is concerned, we will have news today. This will allow us to finalize the negotiation of Horizon Europe. We hope during November everything will be closed of Horizon Europe so that we can also close the EIT in the December and everything is ready to start 1st of January, 1st of January 21. And next step that we look forward, we are already looking forward and getting prepared, is to receive the package with the partnerships. And we hope that this is as soon as possible during the next year. And we know that there will be difference in the way they will be presented to the European Parliament, that probably will have a big package on the public-private partnerships, apart from the HP, the high-performance computing. All the rest probably will be in the big package, and separate will be the public-to-public partnerships, because they are different process, is a co-decision process. Myself and most of my colleagues will prefer that each of the public partnership, like it was in the past, will be in a separate report. This will allow us to go into more detail with different rapporteurs to each of these subjects. But as the European Commission has the power of initiative and was not the understanding of the European Commission, we will see how will we manage the work. Will be an enormous amount of work for the rapporteur of the big package, but we are prepared for that. So a lot of interest time during the first months of 21 for the public-private partnerships. I would say that Horizon Europe probably gives even more stress and more importance to the public-private partnerships compared with the previous framework programs, and that is good, because it's one of the most important achievements of our framework programs, is this ability to put together, working together, the public sector with the private sector, and inside the private sector managing to that several companies that before that most probably were competitors, they sit together and they collaborate in research programs for the advancement of science and technology. And this has been a tremendous success. I would say that probably one of the most important achievements in framework programs, in European projects, probably compare with the level of Erasmus, is our ability to cooperate that we have shown in these public-private partnerships. Innovative Medicines Initiative is one of the good examples. We have big farmers cooperating with SMEs, with research centers, with universities for the good of people. Another very important example in other sectors, clean skies, something that Europe should be proud, showing to the world how we manage that competitors are working together to produce a cleaner, sustainable, and safer airplanes, and so on. So this is quite unique of the European spirit to cooperate for the good of the Europe, for the good of Europeans and everyone that lives and study with us. So this is my hope that this emphasis and the priority continues what is in my from my point of view, one of the golden results of the framework programs, that are exactly the good results from these public and private partnerships. Talking about innovative medicines initiative, is countless the results, the good results that you had in the past, and I'm quite happy that for the future you are even more ambitious, and your successor, you are going to, as far as we know, you are going to propose a new name in Innovative Health Initiative, but that corresponds to an enhanced ambition, and an enhanced ambition that goes in the right way, something that I have always pushed forward in the way to open up, because one of, and you have probably heard me several times saying that about the public-private partnerships in general, not yours in particular, but in general, these partnerships, they need to open up. I know that you are very focused on your work, that you have very important tasks to fulfill, but you should always be aware that you need to communicate, that you need to open up, that you need to be open to the society, and also open to newcomers, even smaller institutions. That is something that we have pushed always, myself individual, but is the general feeling of the European Parliament, and is something that in all the also at the time of the first report of the IMI 1 and after IMI 2, that was the opinion of the European Parliament to open up. That is important, and I see from what I hear from you and from the responsible people that it's your ambitions to have open up to other sectors, to deliver better and more integrated healthcare. So that is important. Also to become more holistic, to have a more holistic approach, to shift more and more, because you are always doing that, to patient-centered deliver healthcare. And also this is a tendency and something that in European Parliament we are is very much of the heart of our preoccupation. So holistic approach, more transparency, opening up, putting people, in this case, in your case, putting patients at the center of your work. So all these that I have read from the ambitions of your next phase go in line to the policy and what we defend in general in the European Parliament. We and you all know, and it's not only a question of the IMI, but it's a question in general of Horizon 2020 and the previous framework programs, that is more obvious in the public-private partnerships, is that we are not able to capture all the scientific excellence that exists in Europe. Sometimes we leave behind researchers, innovators, groups that are of excellent quality, but because they are all further away from Brussels, or they are not so well informed, or they are in countries or regions that the innovation system is not organized. I wouldn't say not so well organized. I would say more not organized in a way that is that facilitates the participation, the international participation. We end up to have a participation that is very concentrated in some countries, and some other countries have very low participation. And I'm referring mainly on the Eastern European countries that have lower participation in general in Horizon 2020, and in particular is even more obvious that in the private partnerships is not only in IMI, is most all of them. So is an extra effort that the private partnerships have to do. They are improving in that. They are looking for partners in these parts of Europe, but you have to continue with that effort, because there is a big gain. It's not only a question of fairness, it's also a question that you will the research and the innovation that you are performing will be very much enhanced if you also involved the fantastic researchers that work in this part of Europe. And the fact sometimes that they bring a different way to work, or a different culture to the consortium is very good, because it's from the diversity, different ways of thinking, different ways of interact, that innovation goes faster and grows. The excellence grows out of diversity, and this is very important. So one of my recommendations for the future and for the future partnership and the proposal that arrives to the European Parliament, and make an effort that we should keep the excellence and impact as our criteria. We don't want to have any other criteria, but we need to have instruments that allow us to capture this excellence where the excellence exists. So it's my recommendation for your third phase, and you will see that you will be even more successful if you manage to capture this excellence all over Europe. Another point, it will be very important that you continue to collaborate outside Europe at a global level with the best independent, where these best researchers and innovators where they are. So international cooperation is a must in every field of research, but even more in health, as we have seen with the present pandemic, the development of vaccines, the development of therapies, the development of tests. We really need to go global. Even globally, it has proved difficulty. So I have been one of the first MEPs that have, even in general, talking in Parliament, asking the Commission to set a fund that would finance research globally for the development of vaccine, because we could not do it alone. And that became a reality only on May. It should have been a bit before May, but okay, it at least was set up in the beginning of May. And we are now having the results, the good results of this cooperation. So this is very important that we cooperate globally. So the Horizon Europe has provisions for the cooperation with the neighboring countries, the associated, the countries in accession to the European Union, but also to third countries. So we are a very open program. Research and innovation should be open, and the cooperation should be possible with any country that is a democratic country and wants to collaborate with us. Of course, on the third countries collaboration, we have set up some principles for that collaboration, but the countries that I know that you collaborate more, they fulfill all these conditions, being democracies, having strong research and innovation principles and systems, and to be of a mutual interest, the collaboration with these countries. So I really hope that will be possible under Horizon Europe, all the collaboration with countries that in health is so important to collaborate, like Switzerland, Israel, and UK. And the UK, everything is going in the right direction. We hope that also we will get a Brexit agreement. In my personal opinion, the fact that the results of the US elections will make easier for the agreement in Brexit, so that we have a good Brexit agreement, so we can develop also the agreements after in the sectoral areas, including a very important one, the research, and inside the research on health and specific in the successor of the IMI. So we hope to deliver and to have as policymakers to deliver the conditions so that you can have a third phase, well financed, holistic, open, inclusive, including all smaller research groups, SMEs, cooperating with the big groups and the big companies, and all over the world where the research excellence is, you are able to capture that and to collaborate with them, and you have enough funds to develop the treatments and the understanding in the diseases that are so important for our well-being, as it was proving during this pandemic. So your success will be our well-being in life. So I wish you a very uh, good continuation and the third phase of your IMI life with a lot of success, a lot of good results, and all the best for the future. And thank you again for the invitation.
Well, thank you very much, Professor Carvalho. This has been very nice words. Thank you. Also, good. The positive words on the budget are always good as well. We really understand your issues about openness and inclusiveness, and we have not been successful so far, as you point out, in including on increasing the participation from Eastern European countries. And you're quite right, there is nothing wrong with the science and innovation that goes on in these countries. It's really excellent. And we need to find a way to make sure that we can build the networks in a way that allows them to participate in a much more advantageous way and positive way. And I also align with your thinking on, in terms of diversity, and without compromising excellence and impact, diversity can absolutely increase the impact and forge excellence through bringing people together.